day students, and welcome to today's video lesson for Labour Relations in 6. In hierdie video gaan ons voort met hoofstuk 6, module 6, where we are still busy with the disciplinary procedure. In the previous video, we looked at the various steps that has to be taken during a disciplinary hearing, en in vandag se video gaan ons bietjie kyk na die appeleerproses, the appeals process, as well as the various sanctions that can be imposed on employees after they have been found guilty. Nou julle kan my volg in bladsy 124 on page 124. We are now going to move into the grounds for appeal and the appeal procedure. Now if you recall from the previous video, we said that at the end of the disciplinary hearing process, step 12, the employees can actually appeal the verdict of the chairperson. So hy kan letterlik die besluit deur die chairperson gaan appeleer en sê hoor ek stem daarmee saam nie, ek soek 'n ander chairperson, I want to appeal the sanction that has been given based on the following mitigating factors. So die appeleerproses is geweldig belangrik, as it allows the employees to basically just not make double sure, maar hulle wil gaan doodseker maak dat hulle die beste uitkoms kry in 'n dissiplinêre verhoor as wat moontlik is. Now if you go and look on page 124 at the bottom, it says an appeal hearing is also an in-house procedure. So ons kyk nog steeds na in-company procedures soos ons gekyk het na in hoofstuk 1, which gives a guilty party who is dissatisfied with the outcome of the hearing another chance for his or her case to be evaluated. So dit gee letterlik vir die ou 'n tweede kans en sê, kom ons kry iemand anders, kom ons kry 'n neutrale derde persoon wat dan net vir ons weer eens kan kyk as 'n chairperson of die verdict nog steeds dieselfde sal wees en of die sanksies ook dieselfde sal wees. It's normally about a higher authority or someone from the outside deciding on the appeal. So dis regtig iemand heeltemal neutraal tot die saak wat dan nou gaan besluit of die persoon skuldig of nie skuldig is nie weer van vooraf, by looking at the evidence again. Okay, so dit gaan nie 'n hele nuwe dissiplinêre verhoor wees nie. Hierdie persoon gaan net weer na al die bewyse kyk. Remember, I said in the previous video that there must be a secretary to take minutes, or there should be a voice recorder or video recorder that actually records the actual hearing. So hierdie tipe materiaal, die notas deur die sekretaresse en natuurlik die video recording can then be used by this neutral third party during the appeal procedure to evaluate whether the sanction was fair en natuurlik of daar consistency is en of dit regverdig is en al daardie interessante dinge. It is also one where the decision is made final and binding. So it's amper soos in die arbitration process, where after you've appealed the case, the last chairperson will now make a final binding decision based on the facts provided to him. Hoekom sal 'n werknemer appeleer teenoor hierdie besluit? It can be for various reasons, either procedural unfairness or substantive unfairness. Nou, ons het dit in die vorige video ook bespreek. Procedural fairness refers to following the actual steps in the procedure, as we've discussed in the previous video, waar substantieve regverdigheid verwys na regverdigheid in terme van bewyse en getuies teen die persoon, and whether of course it is consistent based on the policy and the code of conduct, and that the employee is treated fair and equitably throughout the process. Another reason for appeal is when there are other errors during the process. For example, as jou sanksie nie in lyn is met die dissiplinêre kode nie, or it's not consistently fair, etc. And then of course the sanctions for transgressions that has to also be finalized. They say in the textbook on page 125 that disciplinary action is taken when an employee's behavior or performance levels are unacceptable. That's what you need to understand. Jou besigheid gaan nie net sommer 'n dissiplinêre verhoor met jou doen as hulle nie regtig grondige rede daarvoor het nie. If you recall from a previous video, we said that before a disciplinary hearing can be conducted, there must be a disciplinary investigation. So dan moet 'n ondersoek wees, en gebaseer op die ondersoek en natuurlik the severity of the offence, they'll have to decide whether disciplinary interview or disciplinary hearing will be more applicable. So wanneer hulle eventually besluit op dissiplinêre verhoor, moet jy weet dit is regtig 'n baie ernstige saak. It is either a consistent behavior that they could not change, of dit is regtig 'n ernstige oortreding wat die besigheid in hulle code of conduct sê is ernstig, and then of course it has a serious transgression such as dismissal. They say the appropriate punishment or sanction is clearly highlighted and stated in the disciplinary code. Dit moet daar wees, dit moet. And in the previous video I also said that employees must be aware of these rules. So they must see this disciplinary code, they must see the rules and they must see the sanctions as well. Op dieselfde bladsy gee hulle vir jou die verskillende sanksies, okay, the various sanctions, and they actually discuss these sanctions on the next few pages. Ek gaan nou nie deur elke tipe sanksie in detail gaan nie, I just want to give you an overview. You can go into this section on your own. The first one is a reprimand or an informal verbal warning. Dit is gewoonlik vir die eerste offense or an offense that is quite minor in nature, like coming late or being absent without leave. Okay, en natuurlik as so 'n tipe geval nie opgelos word nie, it can move on to become a more serious transgression. Okay, so hou dit ook in gedagte. After a reprimand or a formal verbal warning, we have a formal or informal verbal warning. We now get a formal verbal warning. Okay, so eers is dit 'n reprimand of 'n informele waarskuwing, en nou is dit 'n formele verbale waarskuwing. So now we might have a witness as well to say, listen, this is the case, ons gaan jou nou op 'n orale manier sê, dit is die probleem, we have to fix this, otherwise there will be further consequences. So dit is regtig net 'n verbale waarskuwing. After that it becomes a written warning, and this is for the more serious cases that can also be covered via a disciplinary interview. You don't always necessarily need a hearing for written warning. Maar onthou weer eens, as 'n minor offense aanhoudend herhaal word, word dit 'n eksterne en ook a serious transgression. Okay, in that case it can move over to a final written warning. You normally get your first written warning, second written warning, third written warning, final warning, etc. This is all stipulated in your disciplinary code. Okay, and your sanctions moet daaraan gekoppel word ook. The next one is a final written warning, can be given after a second written warning or a serious transgression. So wanneer die persoon insubordinate was, or they've been absent without leave for quite a while and they've been through the hearing, they can get a final written warning. En wat beteken dit? 'n Finale waarskuwing sê dat as jy weer 'n offense het in die volgende 6 maande, dan lei dit tot onmiddellike ontslag. This is an example. Okay, so final written warning is quite serious. This is your last kans. Then they also talk about demotion and seniority, and this is specifically for a manager that is either not performing or he has been found guilty of misconduct in the sense of victimization or discrimination of bedrog of wat ook al die geval mag wees. In most cases, this manager, if they cannot cope with the workload, if they're not performing as a manager, as hy baie klagtes gehad het, word hy dan nog gedemote na 'n laer posisie toe. And it is seen as an alternative to dismissal. So in plaas van om jou te fire, sê ons, okay, ons demote jou na 'n laer pos toe en gee iemand anders die geleentheid om in die hoër pos te wees. The next two are quite interesting. Suspension with pay and suspension without pay. In both of these cases, the business aims to remove the employee from their job and from the workplace pending the outcome of a disciplinary hearing. In baie gevalle, sê maar die ou het iemand aangeval in die werksplek. Okay, he assaulted someone. In that case, you don't want such a person on the shop floor because they pose a danger to the rest of the workers. So in daardie geval sê ons, okay, gaan huis toe, we suspend you, go home, either with or without pay, pending the outcome of the hearing. En natuurlik, without pay is a more serious transgression, so jy word glad nie betaal nie tot ons op die uitkoms daarvan kom. In both cases with suspension with and without pay, it also allows the business the opportunity to investigate the case further to see whether they have enough evidence om natuurlik die proses verder te kan vat. The last sanction is termination of service or dismissal. Dis wanneer die persoon actually gefire word, and that is for your more serious cases such as theft or fraud or assault of damage to property, of iets is daai. Dit hang maar af van die besigheidsdissiplinêre kode. Each business's disciplinary code will stipulate which of these offences are seen as serious and which allows for immediate termination. Now on the next few pages, page 125, 126 and 127, they basically explain to you the various types of sanctions. Okay, so gaan daardeur en maak seker jy kan dit beskryf. In the middle of page 127, they talk about other actions that can be taken against employees that do not form part of the disciplinary procedure. One of that examples is transferring the employee. So wanneer die werknemer in 'n konfliksituasie was of hulle perform nie op 'n spesifieke tak nie of daar is heeltyd onmin of clashes in terme van persoonlikheid tussen werkers, this employee can actually be physically separated from the rest of the team, of na 'n ander departement of na 'n ander tak toe. This is normally done in a case where the employee is quite a strong performer. They are a big asset to the business apart from their behavior in terms of interaction with others, so they will then rather decide to transfer this individual. 'n Voorbeeld daar is, ek ken 'n dame wat by 'n fabriek gewerk het in HR, and what happened is she got into a relationship with one of the engineers, and this relationship did not work out. So daar was geweldige spanning en stress en konflik tussen hierdie twee persone by die fabriek, and the business then decided to transfer her to one of the other factories in another province. Okay, so hulle kan dit doen om natuurlik die persoon net uit die situasie uit te verwyder and to still give them a second chance to still perform, so they can actually do that as well. Another action that can be taken against the employee is penalties. So let's say, for example, there was damage to property or damage to product, of as gevolg van die persoon se gedrag was daar skade aan die persoon of die besigheid se reputasie of beeld. They can actually fine the employee with certain penalties that can be subtracted from the salary or wages, and this is normally only for unacceptable behavior that does not form part of the disciplinary code. They say, yeah, however, non-payment of the employee for hours not worked is a possibility. Okay. In ander woorde, as jy byvoorbeeld nou besluit het, okay, ek's laat vir die laaste week, elke week vir 'n uur, dan word jy nie vir daardie uur betaal nie. That can also be a typical penalty against the employee. Okay, so go through these types of sanctions in your book from page 25 to the middle of page 27. If you look on page 128, you'll see, and 129, you'll see templates for a first written warning and a final written warning. You don't need to be able to draw this for the exams, just take notice of them so you know how it works and hoe dit lyk. Op bladsy 130 as ook op bladsy 131 kry jy dan 'n dokumentasie oor die terminasie van diens. Like when you dismiss someone from the business, that's the template we're going to use. And then of course the appeal form on page 131 as well. Okay, so hierdie dokumentasie is baie belangrik. Dit dra by tot die substantieve regverdigheid van die proses, and of course for future disciplinary cases that the business might experience. Nou toe, in die volgende video gaan ons bietjie kyk na die regverdigheid van ontslag, but until then, bye!